Hello friends, welcome back. This is week 2 of having a personal trainer and just reviewing what I've learned and what I've been doing. So we have the week's goals once again. And a lot of it's repeating. So I'm doing the same hydration goal with 80 ounces, not counting carbonated drinks. Sleeping, the goal is 9.5 hours with an 8 a.m. wake up. And then following the app for exercises, trying to plan rest times, like 2 hours, have organization set up. So I have time set aside for exercises, time set aside for meal planning and grocery shopping. And then tomorrow morning on Wednesday, before I head in, I'll do my weigh-in. Some things that are a little bit different this week. I had a read and listen, which was a YouTube video on how the body uses sugar. My biggest takeaway from that was that exercise can reverse or prevent type 2 diabetes, because exercise makes your body more sensitive to insulin. And insulin resistance is one of the hallmarks of type 2 diabetes. So that was very encouraging, because that's one of the things I'd like to not have. And there is some history in my family of type 2 diabetes. So it's one of those encouraging things to have in the back of my mind when I'm really, really tired halfway through a workout. For then this week, which is kind of surprising to me, it was working on setting up a gym bag. I don't see me using a gym bag for probably close to 12 weeks. So setting up now is kind of really early, but like West and I were talking about it, saying we're paying for the advice, we're paying for the knowledge and the instruction, so let's just follow through. So I did. Then there was some journaling on self-limiting mindsets, and the one that came up for me was that health is for other people and not for me. So that was interesting. And then nutrition kind of really expanded this week. She calls them the top 3 or the big 3. And a lot of this or some of this is familiar for me from having counseling for binge eating. So it's mindful eating. So you're not being distracted. You're concentrating on your food when you're eating it. You're paying attention to the textures and the sensations, and just being very connected to your body. And then the hunger scale, checking in with yourself before you eat, then after you eat. Were you hungry? Did you overeat? And just intentionally slowing down so you can actually sense those feelings. And then what was more new to me was the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time you're eating things on plan, and then 20% there's grace for life to happen and you to have some treats. So that was new to me. She did give me a breakdown where it broke foods down into 3 different groups. So I had your okay food, your to limit food, and your to avoid food. And obviously the things in the limited and avoid category would be your 20%. I don't do well with flying by the seat of my pants. So the only way I could think of to quantify these kind of things was I kept a food journal again. But this time, after, near the end of the week, I probably should do this more frequently, or now that I've done it, maybe I'll be doing it daily and it'll help me shift course sooner. But I went through and I circled things in pink if they're on the void list, and then highlighted the ones in yellow for the limited list. And then if it was fine, it was fine. I left it alone. And that was really eye-opening. Just that simple exercise. So like the things on the okay list there's a recipe I've been using from her, which are English muffin sandwiches for breakfast. They're made with whole wheat English muffins, and then you fill it with basically an omelet that you make in bulk and you cut it up. So that was an okay meal. Egg roll and bowl, which is cabbage and beef. with some seasoning on it is perfectly fine, but what could throw it into the too limited or to avoid category would be what kind of rice do you put with it. So like one night I put jasmine rice with it, and the other night I put brown rice with it. So one was, you know, in the avoid category, and one was the okay category. Fruits, okay, but the thing that really stands out to me on this is my actual meals themselves are fine. It's what I put with them and all the snacks I have that tend to be in the avoid category. So, and also when I eat in celebratory environments with groups of people and I'm, you know, engaged with the social aspect of it more than the concentrating on eating, I tend to eat a lot of things that aren't good for my weight. So, for example, when I was at Bible study, I had a chicken sandwich. Doesn't sound bad, but it was on a croissant, and that's like not helpful. The salad was fine, but the chips and dips wasn't helpful, and of course the extra desserts weren't helpful either. So it'll be interesting to see the conversation with her tomorrow, to see her take on it and her thoughts. Like I said, I've gone through binge eating counseling, so I've been familiar with the hunger and fullness scale, mindful eating, and my issue with it is it's great if you're single and by yourself and can live like a monk. But as soon as you're with other people, or you're basically with other people, or you have a bit busier lifestyle, it's harder to do. Because it's like most families eat by a schedule. Most families, you know, at least that's how my family works. So people are ready to eat at a certain time, and whether you're hungry or not, that's the time to be eating. And it gets awkward socially to say, hey, I'm actually not hungry. And then just wait. So that'll be interesting to see if she has any workarounds, because that I've known that since it was first introduced to me. And it's like most families don't sit there and eat in silence, concentrating on their body and their food. They're talking to each other and socializing, which is what meals are supposed to be for. So we'll see. In terms of the workouts, there was a couple repeat workouts, but then there was a couple new ones that I hadn't done before, and I look forward to the day when I can do a 40-minute cardio without feeling like my arm was going to fall off and burning. The constant, continual arm motions over your head really get to me really fast. But the nice thing is to look at it and go, I burn almost double, if not more than double, calories during a cardio workout than I do on a walk. So tossing a couple of cardio workouts in there is good. And it also occurred to me, with all the arm motions this lady was doing, it should help with posture, because there was a lot of ones where you're pulling your shoulders back, which works on those lovely muscles in the back. So this was a little bit of a different week, because I will be traveling next week, so I rearranged the workouts a little bit. So while I'm traveling, the only thing I'll need to do is focus on walking, which I can do anywhere as long as I have my shoes and my hat and my watch, and left the actual workouts where I need supplies, or I may need supplies, to be here at home. So this next check-in will be interesting, because it'll be after a week of traveling, because I planned it so that I would travel between my appointments with the trainer. So I meet with her tomorrow at Wednesday, and tomorrow afternoon I fly out, and then the following Tuesday I fly in, so I'm here for my meeting with her on Wednesday morning. So we will see how I do as I travel. I am grateful that we're not into workouts that require gyms or weights and that sort of thing at this point, so I can rearrange things so it's just walking time. And I'm also grateful that we're not into crazy strict food rules and macro counting and all that fun stuff. So that I can just be working on the mindfulness and looking at my meal and going, okay, is this helpful or is it not helpful? Of course, I'm going to do my best to give myself grace and say, do your best with the situations you're in. But you are traveling and there's some things you just can't control. So that's my 2 cents for this week. I hope you've had a wonderful week, and I hope that you've had the opportunity to intentionally move your body with grace. Until next time, feel free to like and subscribe.